There are main advantages of RPAs. I think most of you may know them, but I need to go through them quickly. Eliminating the manual processes, increasing productivity, more accurate data entry, actually consolidating and reconciliating data, automate repetitive tasks, and in construction industry, of course, we have too many repetitive tasks, especially for something related to data entry, data processing, and also it allows us to go beyond the boundaries of these data silos and also the applications. So these are very important for the construction industry. If we go quickly for some characteristics of construction industry, we can say that it has very big amount of data generated in daily basis. And most of them actually are being now entered, processed manually by having forms, handwritten forms, or even, computer-generated forms. But the processing and handling of these data are being done manually and taking a lot of time from the team or project management team in any construction company. Now, most of the data we enter, we see that we need to enter a piece of data now, and the same data need to enter it in different ways. So doing this mapping between different level of summarization and details is also one of the time-consuming things in construction. We have many repetitive tasks, which is good for RPA. We have rule-based also tasks in the construction. I'm going quickly to the bots we developed in our company. The first one is document management bot. It archives all the details, the documents to our cloud, actually. We started first to get the OCR of the document, get the information of the document, the attributes and indexing, and then proceed until archiving. But we found some limitations for the OCR. I'm going to talk about it quickly. Actually, our forms in construction are handwritten forms. I'm going to show you some examples here. And I have stamps, I have handwritten comments, and have something printed, some tick marks here and there. So with all the promises that the best OCR we had at the time we started with will give us something like 90% accuracy, we found it much less than 90% actually. Hardly we got something like 50%, sometimes 40%. This needed a lot of human touch-up and reprocessing, which takes sometimes more time than what we anticipated first. That's why we went for something different. We skipped the OCR part. So we do the scanning. The one who's doing the scanning, immediately he has an Excel sheet, add all the indexing to the document, and that's it. The bot will take everything after that from the indexing of each document, take it from its location, upload it to our cloud system, and the whole process done. Now, our policy here to have all important documents archived. This means that we are talking about very big number of documents. We are talking about millions. So having this, even without the OCR, is saving a lot of time because we have many sources of the scanning and indexing. All of them go to the station for the bot. The bot will take everything working day and night as much as we need, and this will give us a big saving, which is around 20% at least, actually, but may be increased. The second bot is for productivity report. This is just direct data entry bot. We have, at the end of every month, projects prepare the productivity reports, and they should enter it to the ERP system. Now, the entry of this data to an ERP system, I have a video, you'll see it. It's taking long time from people. So if we have something like 200, 300 records, add all the details to the ERP, we saved all this time by the bot, which is simply developed and saving a lot of time for us. The third one is internal auditing. Yes, we did this actually. We found that we have for our machineries and vehicles, we need to know the trend for the repair, how it's happening. Sometimes we have repeated repair for the same asset many times. Sometimes we have, some reason for this. Could be inefficient repair, could be improper operation of the asset by driver or operator, or something else. The asset is becoming we should dispose it. Now, to go to our data ERB and get all the details from one auditor will take a long time. So what they will do, they will take some samples and decide on these samples. Now, we develop this bot, we'll go for our ERP, get all the information, do some processing, get the best criteria as per our development for the bot, what are the criteria, get the important information, and then provide it for us in a very final stage. You'll see it here in the video after some time. This is one of the samples that, for example, this one big bus actually tells me what asset number and give me all the details here about its breakdown. You see that we have, for example, here something like 23 times for something related to the body. Auto electric works, so I have this number of times. You know, if you see these repetitions, this will give us good idea how to go and check the reasons behind this. And we see, you know, we investigate about that. Now, some of the other information or the analysis of the result, you see that one-time breakdown during the evaluation period, I have 43% of the total cost. The bot take also the cost, not only the repetition of the time. How much cost this us from spare parts, labor, and staff. So I have 43% cost for one time, 57 for something more than one time. For example, for 2 times same problem, I have 18% cost. This is total cost. That one is detailed cost as per spare part, labor, or staff. Now for 3 times, I have 15%. And for example, more than 6, I have 10%. So I can say that I have some concerns about our assets if I take this information. And as I told you, this is taking all the data. It's not only for sampling. The bot also gives me something about the idle time for the assets. And these are some of the concerned cases we have. Like you see, the 15 buses here, the idle time in the period of evaluation is something like ranging between 10 to 15%. Just imagine this 10 to 15% is very big, and we need to investigate why. For trailers also we have something. So the bot gives us for everything. I'm just showing some samples. Here I'm going to show you a video about the work. This video actually, the speed is much faster than what is, for example, the internal auditor, it takes about 2 hours to finish. We can run it overnight and give us all the details. As you see here, it's with all the slides, PowerPoint, give us everything so the bot, the auditor will take these slides and just go and investigate directly. Now, I'm going to start the bots. The first one is for the productivity report. It's just data entry. The sample here is for only 16 records, just for sample. Actually, we have something like 200, 300 records per month for each project. So you can imagine the time we saved from the data entry by having this bot. The person who's doing the report, at the end of the month, send Excel sheet to the bot by email with a certain format for the subject of the email. The bot verified the sender, authorized sender to send me this, and then after that, review the data in the report. If there is anything, send back information, something wrong, correct. And if everything is correct, go to the ERP system, as you see here, and start taking the data. And of course, there are many things here, like, for example, sometimes there is some repetition for the data. So how the bot will deal with it, it was some of the challenges we overcome this actually in the programming of the bot, until the bot finishes everything, close, and then send a notification for the sender, work done. Okay, which is very easy. Now, all what we need, just collect the information and send to the bot. The second one is the internal auditing for machinery. This one takes around 2 hours. It's, the speed around 30 times just to have it in 2-3 minutes for you to see it. So you'll see here the bot, again, will start. At the beginning, this Excel sheet works like control panel. We tell the bot what to do, what period, what we concern for, what our concern, and then it takes this information, go to the ERP, get all the data for this period. As I told you, take all data, and then get it back to Excel sheet, and then do all the processing, apply all the criteria we put for the auditing, what to be concerning, what to not to be concerning, eliminate all non-concerned, and then put the final Excel sheet in table, and then after that, prepare a PowerPoint presentation for the highest concerning assets which the internal auditor, the human internal auditor, then after that, will take and then go to the concerned people and ask them why this happened, what are the reasons. As I told you, the very main reasons for this could be inefficient repair, and sometimes like guessing happened. Like we saw that, same problem, they changed one spare part, and then again after 2 weeks came again, and they changed another spare part, and then after that repeated again. So it might be the mechanic is doing like guessing instead of being very professional and aware about what is the problem. We have other cases, like, we can see from our analysis, there is some improper operation of the asset by operator or driver. Like, when I see something here that body damages, okay, body damages, why it's happening this much of time, and we need to see if it's buses or it's something different. Is it something acceptable or not acceptable? Now the bot is preparing the final, after finishing all the processing, is preparing the final presentation here. And this presentation, as I told you, all the slides here, it's also skipped here. It has something like 20 assets here, this run of the bot. I skipped all the steps except the first 2 and last. Now the auditor has, each slide is the asset number and all the details of this asset, and then the auditor, the human auditor, will take and start his direct human investigation to know what decision we need to do based on these findings. So now we have another plan, actually. We are going more deep in the project management and the construction projects to go in something related to the planning, for example. What we are working now is for the planning, progress monitoring, and progress updates. This is a very time-consuming process, and everybody in the construction sites know how long it takes. We get information from subcontractors. We have to map it or summarize it or do some processing to get it ready for the program, and then from the program either import from Excel sheet directly or go by hand one by one. So we found this is one of the very important. Sometimes we see that the planning engineers in any construction project, actually, they spend their times in the processing of this data and mapping to get it in the level of summary they need, and then in the data entry. What we need our planning engineers to think and focus on their planning work. So to do that, we are going to take off this part of work from them. Of course, it's not easy to do it for all the steps. I'm going to mention quickly here what are the reasons. Because from one project to other project, there are some differences. It never be the same. Like we have in this project, we have this number of reports required. In other projects, we may have some different reports. We have parts of this process which is very standard and repeated from one project to other. So our plan is to do a bot for this part of the work, to work on all our projects, and then those parts that are changing from one project to another, which becomes smaller, we do a separate bot for each project to do it for this project, which becomes now much easier for us to manage our web development and our working. This is now what we are working on, and as just example here, we have this number of progress trackers, the daily resource requirements, and also the dashboardings. All these things which are done by human being now will be ready by the bot, and then the planning engineer will start to focus on his work mainly and do all these things with the bot. Of course, this is the next step. We have in our roadmap actually many other areas working directly in the projects, so that we hope that automation will save a lot of things. Our lessons learned, maybe somebody will tell me, no, I disagree with you. I accept, I appreciate, and I respect the opinion of everybody. But for me, based on the experience, OCR now at this stage might not be the best solution for us. If you have a nicely printed document, which can be recognized by the OCR system, even the best if you have, so go for it. If not, try to avoid it, because the errors will be time consuming for you. The other thing, it's better to have in-house development for the RPAs, for the bots, rather than getting it outsourced, because you have your team. The third one, justifies why. Because this is an ongoing process. As I told you, we have projects, we have different requirements. We may take 2-3 weeks maximum to develop a bot for this work in project. This will save us a lot of time, ensure good quality of data, no errors. So these are very important lessons. We are working on them.